Thanks, Dave, for talking to us today about the Spirituality 101 course. I know you've been actually doing that online, which is fantastic. And just wanted to have a bit of a chat and ask you a couple of questions and see if you've got any questions or anything you want to say as well.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's thrilling to actually be able to, I guess, put my thoughts there for, what I've covered in the course. So, yeah, ask me any questions you like and I'll...
Okay. So, Dave, did you consider yourself to be spiritual before you started the S101 learning?
I think I did because I've always had an awareness of spirituality. I've had some dealings with it, unexplained things. I guess if you said to someone who didn't have any awareness would be like, that's just weird. But for me, it was like, it happened, so I can't deny that it happened. One time, a long, long time ago, I was literally walking in an empty courtyard. It was at the ANU actually, and there was no one around. It was a Sunday afternoon, and it was like 2 o'clock, and I was leaving somewhere, walking to my car, and I was thinking in my head something about my situation, and I literally heard a voice as loud as thunder, but no sound, saying, "Don't worry." I'm like, wow, what was that? And I was like, oh my gosh, that is just weird. And I still remember today, the feeling I had when I heard it. Was like, yeah, okay, that wasn't that wasn't anybody. That was something else. And it wasn't in my head. It was like somebody said it behind me or up above me or somewhere. It wasn't inside my head. It was like literally I heard this voice. But it was loud as thunder and quiet as nothing.
Well, university car parks, what'd you say, the Australian National University, car parks are actually really empty spaces too. When they're empty, they're empty. Like, there's nothing there.
Nothing there. It was just, I think, my car and maybe two others. Yeah.
Okay.
Strange. One small episode. Yeah. So I guess in essence, spirituality has always been a thread in my life, and I've always been very interested in it, but not as a structured pursuit. It's just been stuff that's happened, and I sort of go, yeah, of course. There's energy, there's spirit, there's something that underlies everything in the universe. Has to be.
Cool.
And because my background is computers, it becomes obvious once you start thinking about what's inside a computer and how it works, and you don't know, how does this energy make stuff happen? And it's all contained inside a screen. It's we're seeing things that aren't really there because it's just like flashes that are happening really fast, and we think they're real, and images actually, So there's no permanence to computing, which is an amazing thing when you start to go into it, and then you realize, well, hang on, it's just energy moving around. So that whole spirituality, energy, vibration thing, all computers have exactly that same phenomena. And we use them as though they're just naturally things that should be there. Computers, of course, don't look beyond the veil sort of thing.
That's a really good comparison, though. That's a really good way of putting it, because a lot of people wouldn't be thinking that way, and that's fantastic. Thank you for that. That's a really good explanation. Yeah. It's
a bit like TVs. The image on TV is not real, but you still react as though it is.
Yes.
But here with computers, you're actually making things happen in the world, because everybody uses computers for everything. They drive cars, they run fridges, they do everything for us.
Yep.
And yet we still have no concept of how they work. We just know they work, and we can harness the power. You sort of go from the atomic level to the quantum level, and suddenly it becomes even weirder. We still don't know. I've got no idea, but we use it all the time.
Yeah, trust me, sometimes spirituality feels weird, but it's often in a good way, but So how have you found the course then?
I'm loving it. I really enjoy the whole concept of having things clearly explained, because that is me. I like to know why stuff happens, and not just go, give me the simple answer, but I want to know exactly why. So just being able to follow what you and Greg were saying so I haven't done the whole course yet. I'm sort of halfway through like this. So I've done the meditation one, which is really good. So I have meditated, and I understand that process really well. The crystal one I did today with Greg, and that's one I've just gone, okay, now I get crystals a bit better, because up to now they've just been rocks with different names, and I can't sort of make sense out of them. Still can't, but at least I get where they sit. And because that's sort of wanting to know how things work, sort of brain that I have, it's like, okay, I can sort of follow the colours of the rock, match the chakra. Yep, that's a good enough explanation to start with. Yeah. So, and then the clear sense one, which I did a couple of days ago, was very illuminating, and the chakra one was even better. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the information because it's helped me understand how these things work.
Okay, so has it been filling in gaps of your
Oh,
knowledge?
yeah, definitely, yeah, because the gaps have always been there and I haven't had to fill them in. So doing the course really just made it so much easier to go, oh, okay, yeah, I think I understand that subject better. And I can use that information moving forward, or I can build on it more easily.
Because there's quite often that Goldilocks approach of, is it too advanced for me? Is it too easy for me? You know, where do I fit? Is it, you know, how is it going to be just right? And it's hard, I guess, for people to get an idea of where it's at. So if you're a little more advanced, you'd probably still find it will fill in the gaps.
Well, as I said, I've got that sort of knowledge anyway, that by osmosis over the years. But yeah, the structured approach, I guess, that you took and the way you explain things clearly meant that I'd filled in any gaps I might have had, and there was more things to know.
Yeah. Well, see, what we've done is basically, it really is the raw basics and the beginnings, but it is enough information to get you started so that if there's one of those topics that actually really piques your interest, you can then take that further. But you've then got a solid foundation.
Yeah, and that's what I'm finding. I think the clear senses is one of those ones that I want to explore more, because I think one of the lines you put in that summary was, you know, as you start to practice this, you will see that maybe there's more than what you thought you had. So I always knew that I could, as I said before, hear things, because obviously I had that big experience once. And I have then practiced listening to my thoughts and going, okay, what am I actually hearing, asking a question, getting an answer back. And so being present, I guess, when things start to happen, I go, okay, I knew that was going to happen because I got like a tiny bit of foreknowledge. But then I'm listening to that session, and later I was like in the shower thinking, oh, hang on a sec, but what about taste? That's something I've got. I didn't realise. Then I go, oh yeah, no, but there's been occasions when something about smell or taste has popped into my consciousness. I'm like, oh yeah, so that explains why. Suddenly it's, okay, there's a thing there maybe I have got that I haven't explored. So focused on the hearing one. Yeah.
A lot of people don't realise they have multiple gifts, and we all have all of the gifts. We just don't always have them at the same level.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. It was fun. It was a real nice revelation.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So you've enjoyed the content and the way it's been presented so far?
Yeah, because you guys know your material, and I can always tell that you're giving me that much, but you know that much. That's how it feels. So it's like, okay, this is good. I'm not like getting all of your knowledge. I'm just getting what I need now, and I know there's more. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's meant to be a stepping stone, so that's what we aimed for. So do you enjoy learning this way, being able to do it at your own pace, in your own time, at your own speed?
Yeah, all my learning has been of that nature, just-in-time learning. I'm not a huge fan of learning something that I might need 5 months down the track or next year or for somebody else's reasons. It's got to be because it's germane to what I'm doing, has an application, or it has potential to do something that I know I can do.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Awesome. Did you have any questions? Anything you want to ask?
Well, there's the Earth. Is there more being released? Because
yes,
I'm going, I think, halfway through this one.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're almost, we've actually moved a couple of the topics around that we'd already completed and put them into the earth, the fire elemental. Okay. So that's almost done. There's actually 37 topics in all.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that's 37 sets of those lessons that we have to create on top of doing the business and mentoring and everything else we do. So what we've done is we've just moved the laws of attraction into the fire elemental. So that's going to be almost ready. I've just about finished doing the present moment awareness lesson for that, learning for that. And we've only got a couple more of those to do, and we will be ready to have the fire elemental package as well. And then there'll be the water and the air that are released at the same time. We've actually grouped them together in similarities. So we've actually got things like candles in fire. So we've actually got topics that will that work together. More air type elements are actually in, or topics are in the air elemental package. So yes, there are 37 topics all up. they'll all have the same level of content, the same amount type of content. If the videos go much longer than 20 minutes, we've broken them into multiple videos.
That's good, yeah, because 20 minutes is a nice time for me. I was finding that I could fit that into my morning quite well. So I'd wake up and go, okay, what's on the menu for today? And that would be just enough to go, okay, got that, now I can move on with my day. So
yeah, and we always say to people that to practice, and that's why we've actually put it in so that there's a 20-minute lesson, then you've got a summary lesson, which is a summary of the main, plus the script for the summary. So that if anybody prefers to actually read and listen along, they can do that as well, because the script is pretty much the same as the summary.
Yeah, whereas I'm just going, watch the video, I'll read the summary, and I'll read the script as well. So, yeah, happy to do that.
Good. And there's exercises that we've put together, and most of them are fairly unique. Some of them are similar to other things because really there's only certain types of things you can do, but they're exercises that will actually help you with whatever the topic is.
Are they in the Earth one at the moment?
Yes, they're actually in each of the lessons. There are exercises you can download. So if you go into each topic, there'll be exercises in there as well.
All right, I'll go back and check.
Yeah, so there's Claire element, there's like the Claire Senses. They've got some really good exercises on all the different Claires. And we've got meditation exercises, and there's a free downloadable meditation, and there's a whole heap of extra stuff. So that's not just the lessons, you actually get exercises and work to do.
Oh, okay, so I've got more to do. That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, no, so there are 4 elementals, and of course there's 5 elements. Really, there's the spiritual element as well, but we cover that in the mentoring, because that's almost like we raise up the next level for that point in time. When we actually even do the mentoring, we do make sure that everybody's comfortable with their foundational topics, so that when we cover a topic for them in the group or one-to-one mentoring, we do make sure that they're comfortable with that level of awareness. Because you can't move on until you've got a solid foundation of knowledge.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I tell my students.
And nobody knows everything. We know that. But what we can actually do is, what we try to do is give you as much information that is possible to start you on your way. What you will find too is that as you start moving through the different topics, more things will be of interest to you in a particular element or a particular topic. And so that's really what you start to think about as being your path. So as you travel down that path, there are many roads on that path. So everybody has a journey that they're on. And our aim is to make your journey and turn it into an adventure. Okay. So take that journey, turn it into an adventure. And then with that journey, you've got multiple paths you can travel. So as you're adventuring along, you can actually go down certain roads from that path. So every path is made up of multiple roads to travel.
This is exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
It is. And we get guided with what to put in and what to do and things to do as well by our angelic connection and by Source. So because we actually have a direct link to Source, and he comes to chat and play as well, and in fact he comes in and works with us in clearings when we do clearings. We actually did a clearing recently where we actually worked with some children, and he was brilliant with the kids, really brilliant. Like he played paper, scissors, rock with the kids. So, and people say, oh, it's not real. It is. It actually is real, and it is all there, but it's how you want to perceive it. And that's why, as the spiritual perspectivist, it's my role to help you see that it's all about your perspective.
Isn't it just?
And that's what people discover when they first start working or on a spiritual journey. They're all about, oh, but I see it this way. Great. I mean, even Greg and I see things differently. Greg sees, for example, the archangels. He actually sees them as full-bodied angels, like full-on angels, magnificent wings. I get to see that a little, but what I mostly see them as is energy and different colors of energy. And in fact, when I go into the spirit world, it's almost like I can feel the color.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this. I really am going. So how am I going to receive them? What's going to be the,
Yeah, absolutely. And what you'll find too is as you move further and further along, it's going to help you get the lingo, get the jargon, get all of that under your belt, which is one of our aims too, because being trainers jargon with any new environment is part of the culture. So what we do is help you with that, so that when you start talking to clients and you're starting to now, as your vibration raises and you start to attract in clients of, a higher vibration and a more spiritual client, you'll be able to actually work with them, because they will, you'll connect. So they will actually have the energy level that you need.
Yeah, because by understanding it, I'm raising my own energy level to a similar one, as it were.
Yeah. Like attracts like. It's one of the laws of the universe. There's 12 of them. And one of the laws that people talk about is the attraction, like attracts like. And it does work. It's the law of attraction, which is in ours about the 5th law. But there's also the law of inspired action. So you can have the law of attraction, but then you've also got the law of inspired action. And the law of inspired action means you have to take action to cause that attraction.
That makes sense, because without that, it's just sitting there. It's potential. It's nothing.
Yeah. So once you do that one, you'll find there's lots as well. Greg did that. He loves the laws of the universe. And we've made it into 3 separate videos because there are 12 laws. So he's actually got a lot. Well, there's a lot more to it than what we've put in there, of course. But it's, there's enough there for you to get an understanding of what all the laws are. So
well, I feel in a way, Janelle, like I've walked into a treasure trove and I'm just like, what do I look at next? What's there? What's the next one?
That's what we found. Is the other thing too, is that there's so many places you can go when you first open up and you first start to awaken. And it's like, well, where do I go now?
Yeah.
Where can I look to find, how do I know what I don't know? So that's why we tried to make it, a one-stop space, so that at least you get a foundational basis of most of the range of things that you'll be looking at, and then you can move on from there. And so when we then do our mentoring, we can then take that to the next level.
Brilliant. I'm really waiting for that. Now, I guess the question then becomes, how much do I need to know before I do mentoring? Or is it a choice?
Okay, no, you can do mentoring at any time. We can actually do mentoring from any level. So we start off with the Soul Adventurers level of mentoring, which is twice a month with us. We also jump into the Facebook group and, probably on a daily basis, and do some training and some work and whatever with people.
That's another Facebook group?
Yeah, called the Soul Adventurers group. So that's actually specifically for our mentorees, right? So that's for the Soul Adventurers. We have it, and that level, twice a month, so every fortnight, Zoom call for an hour to an hour and a half with us. Okay, and we can cover basically the topics that are needed. So we'll actually take you through, and what we'll find is that sometimes you find there's a lot of people interested, say, in healing. So we can then look at, the aspects of that for part of the call, and another part might be people who are interested in protection. So we do that. But the big thing we always do is teach people how to protect themselves. Question I get a lot is why? And it's because you're going into a different realm somewhere that you don't know. It's like you wouldn't walk across a schoolyard without knowing at lunchtime, without knowing where all the children were, without knowing that you weren't going to get a basketball come and smack you in the head because you walked right between where they're playing, that walking out onto a hockey field, that sort of thing. It's the same thing. You look twice before you cross the road to make sure you're safe. Same concept. You're going into a different realm. You just need to make sure that, you're safe in that space.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and that's what we say to people. That's why we do it. That's why we do the protection while learning lesson at the beginning. It just helps to keep you in a safe space and opens you up for learning. But so you can actually do mentoring from at any point in time. You can step in as a raw beginner and do mentoring with us if you'd like. You don't have to do the S101, the Spirituality 101.
Okay. So it's not required. It just
no,
helps.
but we find that it's probably easier for people to start that way because they get a taste of what we're like and how that works. But at any point in time, they can step off from the Spirituality 101 and come into mentoring.
Right, because that makes sense. I know that there's a lot of questions in my head, and S101 is going to help me to understand what are the questions I need to have answered and what are just questions that will pop up. So, I'm going to go a bit further down the track before I jump into mentoring. It's good to know that I can, because in my head, and to be honest, when you said this to this interview, I was like, yeah, absolutely, because I'm 100% behind it. But I've also got this part of my brain that's like super materialistically critical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I play with computers, I get the spirituality side. But at the same time, I'm also like, hang on a sec. Really? Spirituality? Never seen that before. You know, so there's this analyst, programmer, scientist brain cell as well as the, you don't even know why you're here side of it. So those two are a little bit in conflict now since I'm doing that course. But that's why I said, with the mentoring, I think I need to get down the track of, okay, which one of those parts of my brain is the one that's going to really be the one to help me go ahead versus the one that's going to go, no, this is how it just works and that's it.
Well, basically what you'll find is with mentoring as well, we can actually help with that. So once you get to the stage where you're ready to make those connections, we can actually help with the next step. We've also got the soul connectors, which is actually a weekly one-to-one with us. So that's, a different price bracket, but it's also more intense. And so we find that people who are already quite spiritual and are ready to take that next step, they can do that as well. Or if they're keen, it really doesn't matter. Businesses who are looking at bringing spirituality into their business, the soul connectors are what we're looking at for those as well. Because when a business is ready to actually incorporate spirituality, it needs to move more quickly than just, once a fortnight. And there's actually things that we can do, because I'm also a guide with the Wealth Dynamics profiling system, and that is based on I Ching, which I know you know about. And you'll find that we actually deal with people with that as well. We can actually help businesses with that through the profiling too. So there's different levels. We've got the S101, we've got the Soul Adventurers, we've got the Soul Connectors. And we've even got somebody who's doing some one-to-one personal mentoring with us. And we see her every week for an hour. And, there's text messages and things involved and messaging and constantly keeping, up to date with what she's doing and where she's at. And we're checking in on her, several times a week. So rather than just through Facebook, that's literally one-to-one.
So you're evolving as well.
Yes. Well, you're always, teachers are always learners as well.
Yeah.
And so people say, well, why do I need a mentor? Well, I have a mentor. My spiritual mentor has a mentor. My coaching mentor, training, mentor has a mentor. So my speaking and business mentor has a mentor. We all have mentors. We all have, teachers, coaches, mentors, people who know different things that can help us and guide us along the way. So, and a lot of people say, well, it's spirituality. I should just get it.
Well, sort of.
Yeah,
like cooking. I mean, I can throw a meal together that's on the easy level, but give me a complicated recipe, I'm going to muck it up every time because I haven't got that practice and haven't got that person helping me put it together. So
that's right.
You can learn a subject quite easily, but to go deeper into it and be proficient at it, you need someone to be that extra pair of eyes for you.
Yeah, and often getting somebody with an outside look at what you're doing and where you're going and where your path is. We're way showers. So for us, what we do is we light those lamps along the path for you so that you're always looking forward and never backwards. So we keep the movement moving forward along your spiritual journey. And that's where it starts to become an adventure, because you get to see, look, I'm going here, look where I'm going. And I got to, and then you get all these paths open up, and on this path, all these roads and these different roads. So you adventure down them and you get to see what's going on. And you do it in a way that makes sense to you. We don't say to people, there's this way and only this way, because there's not. It's your way. And that's why, the perspective is a big thing.
Wow, that's so good. As I said, I'm absolutely looking forward to this, and can't wait for tomorrow.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dave, for doing this with us. It's lovely of you to do that.
It's been a pleasure. I've known you for a while, and I'm really happy.
Yep.
I'm actually blown away that this is working out so well for you. This is exactly where you need to be. It's so good.
Thank you for doing it. Be spiritual, be safe, my friend.
Thank you. Talk soon.